Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about research. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Hi Frederick, thank you for all your videos. It helps me a lot as a self-taught developer and I watch your videos on a daily basis. Oh, thank you. That's dedicated. I mean, I don't even watch all my videos, guys. Come on. You have become my virtual mentor who's guiding me on a daily basis with new topics. Oh my. I I I can only apologize for your choices in mentors. I'm very sorry that I've led you astray for this long. Thank you for all your videos. Frederick, I have a question. Alright, question. Which has messed me up a few times. Please help me to clarify this query. As being a bachelor degree graduate, I've just been working in front end development, so I want to try and be part of a research team that may not necessarily be something like Microsoft or Google, but I want to work as a researcher in computer science. Where should I what or where should I try and should I try to find this sort of work? Which stacks should I go for so that I can get research opportunity in computer science? Should I get a master's degree because that might help me get a job in the research field? Well, so if you have a bachelor's degree in computer science, you have at least taken the first step towards this sort of work. I will tell you right now that I think that you should back this up a little bit, because if you say I want to be in research, that is way too vague for me to give you any constructive guidance on who you should talk to. Because I mean, research. What does that even mean? That's like saying I want to be a programmer. There's so many types of programmers and so many types of industries and projects that it's practically impossible. And in research, it goes even further, because in research, it's not just about you knowing how to code. Here, it's much more, in these sort of areas, it's much more advanced. In some cases, it's much more theoretical than you actually might suspect. Some people will say, for example, that they're going to be computer scientists, and then they're a little bit shocked at that. Well, the amount of theory that goes into machine learning and things like that is actually much higher than the actual coding itself. There is coding, but the ratios are different. A software developer focuses practically always on just producing code that does something, but in many cases the problems that they are solving may be simpler. When a data scientist or computer scientist works, they are usually working on much more theoretical problems with data, with large data sets and so forth. And as a researcher, you have the same sort of thing. So I think that before you consider getting a master's degree, you should actually talk to people who have the sort of role that you're looking for. As an example, what's like, who do you have in your life that has done the sort of work that you're interested in? Because if that's the first, I would say that's the first question. What do you actually want to do? Because just saying research is not going to give you anything. You can't Google how to do computer science research and find some. You're gonna, because once you do that, maybe you'll find some group that is doing something specific, because there's so much that you could be doing. And when you have figured out that, well, maybe I'm interested in, I don't know, biology, or I'm interested in, well, let's say that it is AI and machine learning, or if you're interested in lower level details like systems designs and so forth, or maybe you want to work on developing, I don't know, the next networking standard, or security research. There's so much you could be doing, or business insights and analyzing business data, or big data and things of this nature. Like, you need to kind of figure out what would be interesting to you. And once you have that down, go and have a talk with the people who are actually doing this. Send them a message. I promise you, you can reach out to practically anybody who's doing this, and just come off. If you come off as someone who's like really genuinely interested, just ask them something like, I think that the stuff that you do is really interesting. Could you, like, what is your background, like, how do you, what do you do, like, what types of skills do you need in order to do the thing that you do? Most people, especially if they're in research and things of that nature, might be, will probably be very flattered that you took an interest in what they do. And actually, I mean, shit, I can count on my 5 fingers how often I get to nerd out with someone who finds what I do interesting. And because usually, I mean, especially the higher up the ladder you go in terms of theory and academics, the less and less people you will find who find what you do actually that actually will relate to you in some way. So I'm pretty sure that they will be very happy to talk to you. And then when they have given you that insight, then you can evaluate whether or not you should get a master's degree or something like that. Because the thing is, especially when you're going to research, depending on what you're going to do, your masters might actually make the difference here. Because if you get the wrong thing, or if you go down one route, you might actually not have relevant knowledge in the area that you're going to research. As a software developer, you need hard coding skills, but as a researcher, you may actually find that the hard coding skills may not be as important as a very, very strong understanding of the theory. Not always theory, there are of course practical research fields as well, but the focus is much more on how much information that you have on the topic that you're going to research, as opposed to just having a lot of practice coding. So I think that that's why it's so important for you to figure out first and foremost what mental tools do you need, what type of things are the people who are hiring for these specific teams looking for, because I'm pretty sure that you will find that most of these teams are looking more at your academic background, then they're going to look at, say, years of experience as a front-end developer or like a standard software developer or something like that. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you want to be a researcher, regardless of what type you want to be, you need to ask yourself, what do you want to do? Like, what type of research do you want to be part of? Do you want to do security work? Do you want to do biology, physics, medicine, networking, hardcore computer science, or is it's going to be about business insight, machine learning? There's so many areas that you could do research in, quote unquote, that I think that the first thing you should ask is what would be fun, and then reach out to people who are actually doing this sort of work and ask them about it, and they will most likely gladly tell you the sort of things that they have gone through, or what they look for in people that they are hiring for these sorts of teams and so forth. And once you have that down, then you can start looking at, okay, what would be a good stack for this? I mean, Python would be an easy thing for me to say for a lot of people who are doing machine learning, but that may not always be the case for all of these different roles that you could have. And then of course the master's degree, well, pick your master's based on the field of study that you want to get into, because the likeliest scenario is that the topic that you get really good at in academic studies is going to be a very big influence on the sort of role or the sort of research team that you can actually join. Have a great day.